Fat is like your best friend when you're cooking protein. It is beef pickup day, but you can't travel without it being clean in the back seat. If you've never bought a cow before, it's a lot of meat. What was the poundage of ours?
230 pounds is the portion that we purchased.
We go to pick up our cow today and we filmed some of that, some of the experience of that, some of the things that we've learned, and we want to share those learnings.
Yes.
We also want to answer any questions you might have, and that's what this part is us kind of answering some of those questions. The first question you might have after watching this is like, where's the cows? So
where's the cows?
Where are the cows?
So I tried to capture as we were driving in with the camera, but the cows were like tucked away in the woods. So the property where we pick up our beef is where the cows are raised, and it's 160 acres of wooded area, pasture, hills. It's very spread out. Yeah, this is the opposite of a centralized feeding operation, right? The cows are scattered. That brings us to our next point. Where are we picking up this beef?
Where are we getting it? Yeah, you tell me. Quite frankly, I drove there, but I still don't know where I went.
This is a beef rancher that we are friends with who sells to anyone who gets on his list, on his queue. But basically what you'll do is he takes the cows over to the butcher. The butcher processes them. They get aged for 2 weeks. They vacuum seal and label everything. And then Mike's agreement with us is that he will go back to the butcher, load up coolers of our meat, and then we can come to his property and pick it up.
It's not a transaction that you would normally have with like your grocer.
No.
This is more relational.
Yeah.
This is more, tell me about your property. What are you working on? He's so proud of this pond or lake.
Yeah. Can you explain the pond that you made?
Well, it's not a pond if you water ski on it. It's a small lake.
It's really that relationship building that creates an opportunity for us to have grass-raised cattle and beef.
We're out here at my rancher Mike's property picking up our grass-fed, grass-finished beef. We just loaded it up in the coolers. We're in his like 160-acre beautiful lush pasture, never been touched by chemicals, never been sprayed. He dug this 15-acre pond by hand, by machine, by himself. This swimming platform, for perspective, is 30 feet tall. Can you see this puppy? It's just incredible out here.
Enjoy it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We will.
You know what you think of that pork when you try it.
We will. Turkey, wild turkey.
Where?
Where else?
This is our ground beef right here. We also have our steaks here. We had actually asked for a higher fat content in our burger meat. The reason we did that is I really enjoy the way that a fattier burger crispens up. Grass-fed, grass-finished beef is more naturally lean. And so basically what I'm gonna do is run through a few of the ways that we like to cook this beef. We'll do some burgers, and we'll do some steaks, and there's a couple tips and tricks that you can learn in this kind of this section of the video. So let's start with the steaks.
This is a New York strip?
These are the New York strips.
Why are my steaks at the grocery store so much bigger than that?
You know, cows that are not moving around as much, that are being fed different diets, they're going to be larger. Yeah.
It looks a lot closer to the color of venison.
And it's gonna resemble venison more than out of your grocery store. So the first thing I'm gonna do is kind of spread them out a little bit here, right? Leave that fat on there. We're gonna use that when we grill it. And then I've got a tool that some of you might know. This is my grandfather's. It's actually pretty old. It's called a jacquard. But we're gonna take the meat, flatten it out here, and we're just gonna be hitting it against it. Essentially what it's doing is kind of just breaking that up. You see that, how it's breaking that up a little bit? As it cooks down on the grill, it's gonna be more tender and easier to kind of chew up. If you don't have a jacquard like this, you can do the same thing. So you're just kind of poking this fork in here. Fat is like your best friend when you're cooking protein, right? So because this is a little bit higher in fat content, it yields a lot of benefits for cooking. You don't necessarily have to put a whole lot of fat in the pan, or if any, to cook it off. And what you want to do is actually start out at a lower temperature and begin the cooking process lower in heat, and it'll start to render that fat out, and then it'll start to crispen up, and you'll get that nice crispy edge. We're gonna just go ahead and throw these right in the pan and kind of smash them out a little bit. Now, if you bring it on the grill, everybody knows you don't push them down when they're on the grill. Why would you not do that? Well, because you have grill grates, and when you push them between the grates, try to flatten them out, it kind of like gets underneath the lips, and when you go to scoop it, it all falls apart. Don't do that. Notice I didn't salt them. I'm gonna salt the one side because I am flattening them out. They're a little bit thinner. Gonna hit them with a nice layer of salt over the top. Just like that. And you're now just, I'm turning the heat up a little bit, you're just now starting to hear some of that sizzling sound. That's going to be all that fat inside that meat rendering out, and you're going to start to see there's going to be a layer of fat in the bottom of it, almost like cooking bacon. So we're starting to get some of that noise now. It's starting to sear up, and now it's just a patient game. You want to let it stay on that flat side as long as it possibly can, because I really like that smash burger crispy layer on the bottom side. And then we'll flip it over. So, all right, we're gonna grill these. We'll take you outside when we do that. Elizabeth's gonna go ahead and liberally salt these things. I think one of the biggest misses in cooking beef, red meat specifically, but a lot of protein, is that it's under seasoned. You're gonna lose some of it in the cooking because it's gonna be putting out juices and that kind of thing. And but also,
Is that good?
that's great. We'll hit it with some pepper as well. Now, when I'm cooking these, we don't have the fat content in here to get that nice seared edge like we're gonna get the burgers that we just started. So we're gonna try to use this fat cap to our advantage. Grill preheated. I'm gonna open that up. You can use tongs if you need them. And I'm just gonna try to get these onto a hot part of the grill on that fat cap. Just like that. And we're gonna close this. A fat render out for good 3 to 5 minutes. And I got the grill just on high, and we're up at about 300 degrees right now, but it'll probably get up to 450. All right, what you can see that fat rendering out, right? You can see how it's kind of painting the grates. That's good, that's what we want. It's like that, and you can see that juice of that fat running out. Trying to use all that as best we can. And also knowing that the steak, because of how thin they are, going to cook up really fast. So trying to avoid putting them directly on the grates for as long as we can, getting some of that natural smoke on them. Burgers are just about done. Let them kind of finish up in the pan. Steaks, we got to move quick because they are ready to be adjusted again. So I'm going to go ahead and just core this out and just run through it really rough, because it's just going to be a cucumber tomato salad. Look how beautiful that is rendered out at this point, right? Yeah. Like bacon, right? Steaks down. And now we'll just cook them on both sides like you would have normally done. And you'll have that crispy, seared fat on the outside. It's been rendered out so it's edible. And then we'll get the steaks cooked. All that fat lighten up. So I got here just in time. Oh yeah. If you're gonna serve cut steak, right? Just like that. You gotta salt it. Just like that. Cut that off of there. Outstanding. So good.